Oh, thank you. She just wanted to remind me what I already know. Oh, here comes one more, and I'm sure a few are still to come. Welcome to the group, everybody. I'm Thomas Garrison. Been developing since '96, started my business in 2000. So I've got quite a bit to be able to share with you folks. And for the last couple of months, we've been working with the buyer's journey. What started out to be overly simplistic turns out it's not quite that simple. But learning how to work with AI so you can get some good quality articles written by AI for your buyer's journey pages is important. And it means that you need to, and you can come up with whatever term that you like. Maury, what was the one that you just said? Ask it to dinner and take it to a dinner movie?
Yeah.
I said foreplay.
Perfect.
Warming it up. The idea behind AI is if you just go in and say, do this, it doesn't do as good a job as it would if you spend a little time telling it, consider this subject. So you've already started the ball rolling because all you have to do is type that in. It may ask you some questions, but it starts prompting the AI to understand, here's the subject matter. So I'm going to back off for just a second. I see that there's a lot of new faces in here. So before I get into this any deeper, who knows or who does not know what the heck the buyer's journey is? Hands? Anybody? So you're all sales experts. You know what the buyer journey is. Oh.
Learned it from you, Thomas.
That's good. Brad, you're nope, you don't need to know, or nope, you don't know what it is.
I don't know.
Okay, that's good. Our group is great for you. Just spit it out. We'll teach you. This is not one of those, I'm going to give you just a little bit of information and then expect you to pay to be able to get the actual answers.
Well, that'll be a fresh start.
Everybody who comes to these meetings who is new finds that same thing. They're going, I mean, you guys actually do help people here? Yes, we do. And I've been doing this with Alignable for over 2 years. So the buyer's journey is, and you think about this the last time, I want everybody who's new to think about the last time they purchased something and go back to when they decided that they were going to think about purchasing. Does that make sense to you, Brad?
It does.
Okay. You want to tell me the last time that you bought something?
Well, when you say bought something, I'm assuming you're talking a big ticket item.
Could be anything. Could be a pair
okay.
of tennis shoes.
Oh, okay. The last thing that I bought then would probably be it would be a lift chair.
A lift chair. Okay. So did you wake up in the morning and just go, I know the exact lift chair that I need? Or did you go, I need a lift chair, so I got to research these things?
Yeah, I did the research.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were in, that is called the awareness stage. You knew that you needed a lift chair, but you don't know enough about them, so you wanted to get some research, right?
Right.
That's called the awareness stage of the buyer's journey. There are 3 stages. The awareness, where it's where you were when you first thought about the lift chair. So the product that you're thinking about, you need to get information. You want to become more aware. You want to learn about it. That's the awareness stage of the buyer's journey.
Okay.
Then you moved on to the second stage, consideration. After you started doing some research, you realized, I think it might be a race between this chair and that chair, maybe 3 chairs. Am I right, Brad?
You are.
You got cut off. You
Oh,
agree
I'm
with
sorry.
that?
I said you are. That is
Okay.
correct.
So you were then in the consideration stage because you're considering this one or this one, maybe that one. So you start going through whatever information in that stage that you can gather that says this one's better than that one, but not quite as good as this one. So you finally go through in the consideration stage where you have made a decision, and now you move on to that decision stage.
Mm-hmm.
The decision is where you've got your credit card in hand, you're ready to buy.
Okay. Yes.
So the buyer's journey pages are the awareness, consideration, decision, or it can be called purchase or whatever you want, the action that you're going to take. So Google has said, we want everybody with a website, bar none, to create buyer's journey pages for their website. And I'm going to ask him while he's still alive over there, Kevin, we just might use your site for displaying purposes, for training purposes today. Is that okay with you?
Sure. Whatever you need, my friend.
Make sure everybody remembers that he said that and we have it on recording. So when he gets angry, then we could tell him to be quiet and go away.
Bye.
Go tell your mother, I don't care. So the buyer's journey pages, according to Google, are going to prove that you are an expert in whatever your website is about. I want to make that sink in for a minute, because all of you are going, well, I already am. Yes, but the way that you have written the content on your pages, and you can all correct me if I'm wrong, but your content is saying, I am the best at this, and I've got all these awards, and I won this one yesterday, and I've got this, and I know I'm the best because I've done all these things, and I've been in the business for the last 15 years. Hey, Brad, what part of all the junk that I just spewed out provides any information about the awareness, consideration, or decision stage?
Probably not much.
And
I
yet,
find, go ahead.
and yet we all think that what we wrote on our pages is great. But what you should be looking at is how much sales and smacking people over the head to buy something is what you're actually doing. That's the wrong way to sell. You don't have to know sales. You don't have to be a salesman. But you do need those buyer journey pages to provide information. And here's what EEAT, and you can look that up in Google and it will explain everything about the buyer's journey. So I'm giving you the Reader's Digest version.
Okay.
If you have those pages, the idea is that they will come up in the search engines for a local search. And I'll explain that in a minute. And you will get traffic from that page to your website. When they find that awareness stage page in the search engines, they go to that page. There's nothing else on there. And I'll explain that as I go along. But information that clearly defines what it is that you were asking, because that page won't come up in the search engines unless it is highly relevant to what you searched. So, Brad, in your instance, if somebody had done a good job with the buyer's journey and you typed in something dealing with a lift chair in whatever area you're in, a well-written buyer's journey awareness page would come up, and you would have gone to that, and you would have read all about what is a lift chair, what are the differences, and all kinds of information. Tell me if I'm wrong. If you had found that sort of page when you first started searching for a lift chair, wouldn't you have said, I'm just going to buy it from these guys? They gave me all the information I wanted.
It's very possible.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very possible I could have done that.
And visitors could leave the buyer's journey pages that you have and go someplace else. That's always their prerogative. But the idea is that if they come and they're getting quality information about what you do or whatever you're searching, then you're going to stay on that site. Now, here's the opposite. We go in and do whatever search that we do. You've got all your search results, and you can say the first 10 or the top 10 or the top of the heap because they've got a top 10 position or they're in that top 10 first page results. You click on the first one thinking it's going to resolve, it's going to answer the questions that you've asked because it's supposed to be highly relevant to your search term. You go to the page, it says nothing about the information you're searching. So you bounce from that one in just a few seconds and you try the next one. Next one does the same thing. The next one does the same thing. So you got 4 or 5 of them and you're getting mad because you got to go through 5 or 6 or 7 of those top sites just to get your questions answered or to find information on whatever it is that you're searching.
Oh,
That's
that's
what the
true.
Sorry, Brad, go ahead.
Oh, I said I agreed with you that is true.
That's where we all are. And that's why Google said enough is enough. These people who are at the top, we know darn good and well they're not providing the information. And here's why they know. Every time somebody goes to your site from a link in the search results, if they leave in under 10 seconds, Google is looking at that, they log it, and they go, oh, that information is not very good.
I
And
did not
if
know
they've
that.
done that so many times over and over to the same sites, and all kinds of different sites are at the top of the search engines, Google's going, oh, we need to revamp this because people have cheated. They've got up in the top of search engines. They are not providing what people are searching. So that's where buyer journey pages came from. Okay, we don't care about your SEO on your page as much. We care if you have buyer's journey pages. And if you don't have buyer's journey pages, there's a good chance you're going to get shoved off of those top positions. Unless you've got a lot of money that you pay Google, then you'll stay there. Nothing we can do about that. That's just the ease of doing business, especially with Google. But the bottom line for all of us who are not multimillionaires to be able to pay Google just to stay at the top of the search engine, we want to do things the way that Google is asking. So these buyer journey pages. Now, I know a lot of people are pretty visual, but I do want to make sure that you guys all understand that these pages are independent from your site, yet they're part of your site. You need a second template. Now, for those of you who use WordPress, which are most of you, it's a difficult option. But there is one plugin that I found, and I think there might be others. Maury, I think I sent that to you. Do you remember the name of the bloody thing?
Not offhand, no, I don't.
It is, well, for our purposes, I believe if you just search WordPress multi-template, you'll find the exact one that I was looking for. And it will allow you to have multiple templates active at the same time. Because as you all know, generally you can't do that in WordPress. Oh, multiple themes, sorry. Yeah, it's called multiple themes, a WordPress plugin. And I'll show it to you and give you guys the link. Have I tried it? No, I'm not a fan of WordPress, but I do work a lot in WordPress. Just because I don't necessarily like it doesn't mean I don't know how. Okay, there you go, everyone. There's the link to find that multiple themes plugin. Why are we doing that? The buyer's journey pages need to have no way to get to your other parts of your website. Now, there's just a couple of reasons for this. Here's the page where you can get that plugin. So why would you care if somebody was able to get to all of your other pages? The idea behind the buyer's journey pages is to focus the user on just those pages. There are 3, so they are linked to one another, but they do not link to any of the other pages in your website. So that means I'm going to stop here for just a second because I want you guys to see a file. Talk about visually. You always want to be able to know what I'm talking about with visual props. So let me see if I can find my handy dandy. Oh, you got a lot of new people in here. I just found that this file is going to be good for everybody for a lot of things. It isn't specific to the buyer's journey, but there's a tremendous amount of information and tools in this list. So I want you all to have that. Let's see if I get my file. And there it is. Okay, so I'll send that one across to you here. How to set up your buyer's journey. Now it's a overall view. So it's minimalistic. I didn't want to put a bunch of stuff in there because I wanted you to see it plain as day. Get to it, here we go. Okay, this is an image that shows you the basics of the buyer's journey. The page on top, you can call it whatever you want. We've been calling it the action page because it's where people are going to take action. You'll find this picture in chat. Download that picture because you're going to need it. When you have the other 3 pages of the buyer's journey, you can see they're all named and each of them is linked to that action page. There are no other links to the website. You're going from the awareness page. When somebody finds it in the search engine, they go to that awareness page. That has a link to the next page in the buyer's journey. And that next page has another link to the final 3rd page of the buyer's journey. And then they all link to the action page. I hope that all makes sense so far. Questions on that? I just threw a lot of stuff at you guys, the new people. Those have been.
I have a
Go ahead.
I have a question. When did this buyer's journey begin? It's not something I've ever heard of, and I've been trying to get advertising help from all kinds of sources.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Okay, again, in chat, if you guys would look in chat, EEAT. If you look that up in Google, you'll go right to, excuse me, an article that will tell you all about what EEAT stands for. Basically, is Google is saying, prove that you're the expert in whatever you do. Remember, I was telling you, we go to these sites and they're at the top of the search results, and they don't give you the information that you're looking for. Google, this is Google's way of saying, do that. You need to prove it. So you're going to have these articles that show people all this really good information. And you're pointing those 3 pages to the page where you want them to take whatever action. If your business is, I just want people to call me, you still use all 3 pages, take them to an action page, and they call. If you sell items right through your website, the final page would be, here's the product, buy it. Any questions on that part so far?
I
Okay,
don't think so.
Did you see Steve's question in the chat, Thomas, about how do you reach the other pages?
oh yeah.
Okay.
That's it. That's the confusing part. But the reason is there's two parts of this. First, you don't want them to go to another part of your website because they're on the buyer's journey. Excuse me. They found one of the pages of the buyer's journey, if not the awareness page, then one of the others. But they found that page. They want that information. Let them stay on there. Don't try to push them to anything else. That's back to your sales approach that you don't think is a sales approach. Stop trying to push them to what you want them to do. The idea is to have good information and have it so good that they're going, wow, that really answers all my questions. So I like this website. That's the feeling you want people to have through these buyer journey pages. Provide the information. People are looking for information. They're not looking for buy my stuff. We all hate that. But if you grab your best friend and have them sit down and give you an honest answer about how they view the pages of your site, they're going to tell you, well, it's telling me about all your awards and it's telling me how good you are and it's telling me to buy stuff, but I don't know what you do. So let them find out through these buyer journey pages. Don't allow them to go to other pages that are going to not give them that information they want. Steve, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. You kind of answered the question with the image. I'd already sent that through before the image came up.
And now we're going to show you, here's a typical site. And you can see that it's got all the links, the menu. And if you decide when you get to the bottom that you want to do that, you can click on that, go to the call now. The way this person is selling their business, they want to speak to 100% of the people. So you can either request an appointment, you can contact them. Everything this particular website owner wants you to do is right here on this page. And you can see it's a full menu. It's a page designed along with the rest of the website. Now I'm going to show you these buyer journey pages. So you can go, here's the first one. It's still in the midst of being completed, but these pages are ready to go. They just need to look better. This is a fairly new site. So you can see the header has been removed. There's no menu at the top. There's no menu at the bottom. The best you can do is call him. Oh, that's what he wants you to do anyway. Or if you were thinking, well, maybe I see that little button. See how much smaller that is than the other one that's on the regular pages? I don't want you to do that if you're not ready, but you could if you wanted to. What I want you to do is go to the next page. This is your consideration page. You still can't get to any place else in the website. You're just gathering information. Then you go to the final page, the decision page, and you're here, and that's what you want the person to do. Call. But you took them through the 3 pages to understand what their question was. Let's go back to what was their question? What is VoIP? That's the business of this website. You're not going to try to sell. You notice there's no buy now any place, or I won these awards. It's information. So nobody could say, this website didn't give me information. It's telling you about the cost efficiency, flexibility, everything, the basics of why you would want to use VoIP. And for those of you who don't know what it is, you can go to this site and find out. The point is, provide information, not from your aspect, not from what you've done in your years of business, but using AI is the best way to do this approach. Now we're hitting on the reason for the meeting. I didn't realize we'd have as many new people, but that's fine. It's a lot that I've thrown at you, but I believe that you have enough. I do not expect you to comprehend all of the whys and therefores and hows. Just understand you need the 3 buyer's journey pages. If you write them yourself, they're not going to be very good. They won't pass the muster, if you will, with Google, because Google's going to send through the bots. They find those buyer's journey pages and Google decides whether they're good or not. Doesn't like them, they don't get to the top of the search engines, and that's what your whole point is. That's what you want to do. Robert, go ahead. Or did you hit that inadvertently? Inadvertent hand up, hand raise?
Yeah, I noticed you had all text and you didn't have any images.
Oh, you missed that part where I said, this is still a new site and we're still working on the thing, but there are in the main pages of the site.
Okay.
They're done. But the buyer's journey pages are just getting put into the site. So once they're all arranged in the correct order and the owner is happy with the pages, then we can start putting some images in to make them look palatable, like the other pages. There's another one. Well, he's still working on this one, but this one is finished. So you can see this site is in the midst of being developed. So even if your site is not, it doesn't make any difference. As a matter of fact, this is a redevelopment for this particular website owner. And he's doing the right way because he's revamping the entire site, make it easier for him, make it easier for users, and provide the information that Google wants. That's exactly what's going on. Now you don't have to redesign your entire site, but you do want to make sure that those buyer journey pages are set up just like I've shown you. If you don't, then you're going to have a bad situation. And the other part is you don't link from your website to these pages because you don't want people to get to them that way. You have no idea what stage of the buyer's journey they are in. So if they jumped into the wrong page, you could just as well push them out of your site because that's not where they are. So make sure that you are, that I was sharing, but I wasn't, making sure that you want to have your pages so that the users who are on main pages of your website cannot get to the buyer journey page. So that's the reason for the multiple themes in WordPress. Like WordPress, this is a Joomla site, and it's simple in Joomla to create another child theme. That's what we've done, and removed all the stuff that allows you to access any other part of the site. The only thing you can do is go through the buyer's journey pages, or if you thought, okay, I'm ready to buy, great, you go do what this site owner wants you to do, contact. And you can decide when, where, how. Okay.
And Google
Questions?
has already responded to my site. They've already seen it and made adjustments in where I'm ranking.
Prove it. That's what the group is saying.
Well, you know as well as I do.
We'll move this stupid Zoom bar out of the way. As a matter of fact, he's absolutely correct. What was it?
Well, now that you got the whole screen taking up mine now, let me VoIP, VoIP Business Systems, Alameda.
He's in Alameda, California, and
Who's number 2?
yep, This guy took number one. Yesterday, we were just looking at it and he was number one. But there you go. And if you look at this, there's one of his main pages. That's his home page. Google likes that home page very much. And oh, okay, gotcha. So you can be sure that now Google has slowed down how often they send the bot around. So you're dealing with that even in local. That's something else I'm going to touch on. That should be very important to everybody. Do not attempt, and I'm going to make this statement, and if you have a website that's got a page one position nationally, then I'm wrong, but I don't think you'd be here if you did. We have websites that are who knows where, and we're trying to get them up in the search engines, right? All of us?
Yep.
We're not millionaires. Use an incognito to search. Google will save your search results. I don't want to save my search results. Are you talking, Addie? You with us? Addie, are you talking to us? No? Okay.
I think he's trying to say if you've searched for that before, it might bring that up more prominently the next time.
School's out. I mean, on that, I don't necessarily say that that's a bad way. I don't know that there's a good or bad. Usually when I search, I don't allow Google to know where I am, but they've guessed, they know what county I'm in. But I'm not really concerned about that in the searches that I'm doing. If I was worried about them knowing what I have searched last, yeah, then I could use incognito. But I gotta say, I'm not convinced that Google is not watching what incognito is doing. It's Google, after all. You think that they don't know what you just searched in incognito?
I think the question that I have is like, yeah, like everywhere is going to know that you're searching because it's going to register your IP.
Mhm.
But if I'm like, when I'm thinking about, okay, I want to rank for this word, I normally go incognito because I've searched my own company so many times that Google already knows this is probably what you're looking for. But if I go incognito, it's saying, I don't know who this person is technically. I mean, obviously they do, it's my computer. So then they go, this is what would show up for everyone. Like if I'm going to take your search results out of it.
You brought up a very convoluted question because this has been going on since Google was new. So 1998, 1999. Google has gotten much, much better at any time that you have said, I don't want you to know where I am, to, okay, we still know where you are. We just thought maybe it'd be nice and say, here's a specific city where you are. Nope, I'm not going to do it. So I don't know that there is a way to really get a clean view, if you will, of what to search for your own stuff. Because when your site is involved, Google already knows, oh, well, here's yours. And I see your GMB, your Google business profile. And so I know that you're part of that because I see your IP. If they already know that, then I'm not sure that there is a way for you to truly hide what you're trying to search. Now, if I'm searching for a keyword, I'm going to use the keyword planner, and then I'll use the typical search in Google to look through and see what kind of terms that I find, what related terms, that sort of thing. So it is difficult. You just have to kind of take it all in stride. Does that answer anything for you, Addie? Well, Sherry is suggesting, what about through VPN? Yep, you could do it that way if you have a VPN. Wendy, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Appreciate you taking my message here. I had a question about Bing. Has that been addressed yet? How does Bing vary? Is there anything I can do to enhance my search results on Bing?
Yeah, tell Microsoft to get a new directory. What's the reason before I launch into anything?
Oh, I was told, and I don't remember who, but somebody mentioned, don't forget about Bing because more and more people are starting to utilize Bing. I think it was Bing that somebody mentioned that they don't track those people as much. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I think more and more people were wanting, a lot of my colleagues were worried about being tracked. And so they wanted to go with a safer search engine. So that was my thought. So I thought, all right, if more people are gravitating towards another search engine, then I'd like to be on there too. What can I do to enhance that?
I would say that pretty much anything that you would do for Google, it's going to apply pretty much to Bing. Bing has different ways of doing things, but if you've been in this particular industry for any length of time, you already know that in the last couple of years, Bing and Google are in bed with each other.
I see. I had no idea. I thought they were living in totally different cities.
Nope, they are in different cities. But if you think that they don't communicate, they've got a tremendous
Okay.
amount. Bing has taken on just in the last year a tremendous number of things that Google has been doing forever. And they couldn't have done it unless they got the okay from Google to be able to, we're going to do it this way. We want to share your
Okay.
stuff through our platform. And that's what Microsoft has done. So they're working with Google.
Okay, so if I can interpret that from my end, then it would be wise to just focus on Google. Is that what you're saying? Nothing to do on my end.
I don't think that I would worry about saying singling out a particular search engine. There go the hands. Okay, Maury.
Well, I was just going to say that if you think of Bing and Microsoft, they're about 5 to 10 years behind Google.
Mhm.
So the games we used to play with Google to cheat to rank 10 years ago actually work on Bing today because Bing's so far behind.
Mhm.
So anything you do when you're targeting Google to try and rank on Google and doing it white hat is automatically going to work for Bing because Bing is still trying to catch up to Google. So if you focus on Google, you're pretty much already going to be ready for Bing because they're so far ahead of them. Because SEO,
Yes.
people are still searching for keywords in Bing, just like they are in Google, and Bing is giving them and feeding them what websites to look at the same way Google is, based on their search terms. It's just that Bing is a little easier to manipulate right now than Google is. Google's gotten way smarter, but now that Bing has AI integrated, they're going to get much tougher to manipulate too. So,
And the other thing with Bing, if you've ever done any kind of a keyword search, or if you've ever done any kind of an ad campaign with Bing, yeah, the keyword search planner, whatever you want to call it in Bing, is terrible. Maybe if in the last 6 months they've made huge strides, which I don't think so, then it would work better. But a couple of years ago was the last time that I was using it, and it was so bad that even the people from Bing set it up and did it wrong. And of course, they said, that's too bad. You still don't get your money back. But the point is, Maury is being nice when he says they're 10 years behind. It could be further. And maybe they'll catch up in the next 3 years. I don't know. The point is, Google has a tremendous higher percentage of users than Bing does. So yes, you can get away with a lot of stuff in Bing. Even if you're doing it white hat, you can get a position in Bing faster. But how many people are searching in Bing? And that's what it really comes down to. So if you're, whatever you're doing to your site, if you do it based on what Google is telling you, this is what they want, you'll be fine in all the other search engines. But if you start saying, I'm going to do this for Bing, now you're in a position where that might have worked for Bing, but it didn't work for Google. Does that make sense, Wendy?
Yes, yes, it does.
Okay.
So,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
oh, just one more question about the search engine,
Mhm.
using AI.
Mhm.
I'd like to know more information about how my prompts are where I'm struggling.
You're absolutely
I'm
right.
hoping,
That's
hoping-
where we're trying to go right now.
Oh, great.
Robert,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to second what Maury said. I've always heard of Bing. It's like old Google. And you're saying that Bing doesn't track people as much. That might be coming from DuckDuckGo, which uses Bing. I think a lot of their traffic comes from DuckDuckGo.
That could be. I quite frankly, I don't dig into them anymore. I gave that up years ago, trying to dissect all the different search engines. And I said, I don't have any flags to raise about Google. You won't find me saying that they're the finest company. It's just what we have. Deal with it. Doesn't make any difference what you think about Google. They have the numbers. So we're all in business. We're all trying to figure out how to get more traffic to our sites. Do what Google is asking you to do, and it will work. If you try to do stuff for other search engines, well, it's like, okay, but you missed the boat. So I don't want anybody to miss the boat. Don't ask me what I think of Google. You don't want to know. But that's where we need to focus, because the stuff that Google is telling us to do works for Google, and it's certainly going to work for the other search engines. Now, the buyer's journey is the place to buyer's journey pages are what you want written by AI. Now, you can use Bard, and Wendy, you may be familiar with using Bard, or excuse me, ChatGPT in Bing. And if you have paid for and only use Edge, you can get into ChatGPT 4. Slightly better. ChatGPT 3.5 is more than 2 years old information, not quite 3 years old from what I understand. So I switched over to Bard. Again,
What
it's
is that?
because I like Google. It's because the tool works better. And I've done a bunch of stuff with Bard. It doesn't mean that you can't make ChatGPT work. Maury uses ChatGPT 4 and really likes it. He's back and forth between them. I prefer to just, I'm not that, I don't look for a bobble and then run after that one. Kind of like a dog with a bone. You throw one, then throw another one, he's going to go after both of them. But that's Maury. I'm going to be happy if I grab one bone, and I'm fine. Just leave me alone now.
I just find, depending on what it is I'm trying to do, one tool does it better than the other, right? That's why I go back and forth.
So for you guys, I'm saying pick one, and they're 3.5 and Bard are both free, so you can try both. Don't let me tell you that one has to be used over the other. But the prompting that you use for either one of them, that is where it gets sticky. So when you're trying to go to Bard or to either one of the AIs, I'll just say AI. When you're using AI, before you say anything, take a look, and if you've used AI, whether it's ChatGPT or Bard, on the left side, you can see here are things that I've done before. When you see blah, blah, hello again, and there's nothing on the page, that's a new window for AI. Whatever you type in here now is going to be, here's the beginning of a conversation I'm going to have with AI. That's what you want to do first. So who wants to blurt out a subject matter? Juanita? That catch you sleeping?
How about advertising?
That's pretty general. What do you do, Brad?
I do tax preparation and bookkeeping.
Did you see the Z's that just started floating off my head?
Yeah.
So the most recent thing that I have done is I design the merchandise for Hogs and Heifer Saloon, and I had to come up with the new design for St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
So I used a little bit of AI for that. And it was very interesting because we're kind of a I wouldn't say cutting edge company. We're naughty do-gooders here. So some of the things I was asking AI, it was like, yeah, I don't provide porn because I wanted a sexy cow, and I typed in sexy cow,
Okay.
and they said that was porn, and I couldn't do that.
Let's back up. So everybody also understands Bard is capable of creating images now. We won't go into that today. Just if you want to go play with it, it does it, and it makes some pretty good pictures. What's the name of the saloon?
Hogs and Heifers. See the painting in the background? That's us.
The Hogs and
Hogs and Heifers Saloon. We're in downtown Las Vegas. There's only one
Bard
L.
already knows it. You watch. I'm telling you, it already knows. See, it's finding it on the map too. There it is. Okay, so I've got it considering the place, although I couldn't find it. Ooh. That's interesting.
Looked like you had it briefly.
Yeah. Consider
You have heifer spelled right.
where's my spell check? What'd you say? Okay, so you can see it's trying to understand. So before I can ask it a specific question like you did, we want it to give back something that makes you understand. Now it has a good handle on what I'm doing. So far, it does not. You all see that I'm just trying to get a conversation going with AI, and that's all you want to do to begin with. Now it has looked and found several saloons. Oh, Hogs and Heifers. Oh, I spelled it wrong. That's why I didn't find it. Is that what you were trying to tell me, Robert?
Yes.
I waited for AI to tell me because AI is smarter than I. All right, so now you have something happening. Now you have the base, a very small part of the base, but I want to go further. So you're working, or you were working on a St. Patrick's Day something, right? Everybody see what I got in there? Generate 5 personas about saloon patrons on St. Patrick's Day. This is where some fun starts. A burly construction worker with a thick Irish brogue and a twinkle in his eye. You see, that's the kind of stuff that you want to have AI start throwing back at you. Now AI has got a handle on where we're going. That's the kind of prompting that you want to do to get it started in a conversation with you. And I haven't asked it to do anything yet. Just warming up. I think we're still at dinner right now. I haven't gone to the movie yet. But the movie is yet to come. Wendy, is this helping you at all? Maybe she's writing notes. Okay, and there's one in chat.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I stepped away for a
You're
minute,
welcome.
but I was listening. Yes, this is definitely what I was seeking. So I like to see what to search for, how. You know, what's the prompts? That's where I struggle.
And you saw me, I'm just making up the prompts, but I'm trying to, I wanted to create personas. Do I have to write it a specific way? No, just in general, but you want to make sure that your sentence structure is a want, an action about something, and let AI take it from there. And you may have to reword it to get a better idea. But what I typed in about the St. Patrick's gave me exactly what I was hoping for. These personas, if you read any of them, you're going to go, that's pretty good. That he's got a sense of humor. And look at this last one, a stoic cowboy nursing a whiskey at the corner booth. James wears a weatherhead Stetson and a guarded expression. You can't make up this stuff, and it did it in seconds. So if you wanted to dig into each of these personas, you could do that. But this is the kind of stuff that will help you. And for Wendy, if I was to try to do something with yours, I'd have to start a whole new window. Does that make sense? So for Juanita, make sure that if you're going to work on something else and it's not related to the saloon, start from nothing. Don't use this information to start talking about shopping at some mall. And the same thing, Wendy, you want to start with a fresh screen and just keep typing in prompts until you see the AI is got a good handle on the subject matter that you want. Maury, go ahead.
You had a guy asking about taxes. You could use the same technique to go, you know, what kind of symptoms would people that have tax problems be experiencing? And then from there, build me out some buyer personas that have those symptoms that they're experiencing. And that's how you can prompt AI to dig deeper and deeper and deeper into what your prospects might be experiencing and what they're looking for. Hopefully that helps him with prompting for tax stuff in AI.
Brad, did that help?
I think so. Basically, from what I'm hearing, I just need to continue delving down, trying to get maybe more specific at some of the things I ask AI to look for or to write.
Believe it or not, it keeps everything you ask, so you can actually have a full conversation with AI, and it keeps track of everything you asked. Every time you ask a new question, you can have it respond based on what it already fed you. So the question, you can go deeper and deeper and deeper into the conversation. It's kind of like talking to an expert. It's amazing what it'll put out.
Now,
good. Yeah, that does help. Thank you.
Kevin, did you see that I pulled up the information?
Yeah.
You mind if I share that?
No, go for it.
Okay. The reason I want to share this with you guys is because it is almost exactly what I was doing, but on a completely different subject matter. the idea is to look at the prompts that I used, and you look at the responses that I got. And if you read through that page, that's a long page about all kinds of stuff. And part of it was what Maury was just saying about the personas, because I had it create personas too. Never did I say, here's what I want you to do. And yet that's a pretty long conversation. Now, that was a day that I was messing with Bard along with Maury, and we were asking it to do all these things. But it came up with all good responses because it gave it a little bit of information, it gave it a little bit back. Gave it a little bit more information, it gave a lot more back. And the more I did that, the more it kept spitting back good information. Even though the personas are funny, there's information that you can get from that. And Juanita, the information that you would get from it building the personas is each individual. And as you look at that in your business, you're going to go, oh, I didn't think about that. That's exactly why you do this with the AI.
And could I like say choose one of those personas and say generate a photo or generate an image?
See, you're already thinking of stuff. Yes, that's exactly how you work it.
Okay.
You've had it, you've got it doing all this stuff. Now you can focus on one little spot and say, I want to drill in on this and have you do blah, blah. And you said, well, how about a picture of one of those people? Perfect. Because
Bard-
you could even say a caricature of that person. So it would bring out, it'd be AI, so you can't get in trouble. It's not copyrighted by anything. And yet it would be funny so that you can now show that to people and put that in part of you. So yeah, you're getting how and understanding now that, oh, this makes a lot of sense and I can use it and do all these things. Yes. It's what it's for. We've had to go through this, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Now that we've done this, here are some good ways to start prompting. Kevin, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to let everybody know that that image I put in there was generated by Bard.
That's a good image.
Super cute.
And if I were you, Juanita, I would save that picture. Just somehow, somewhere, that's going to come in good. It's going to come in something for your saloon. Maury.
I was just going to say on the same lines, one of the other advantages of images out of AI is it's not a stock image that's on 8,700 other sites.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Google tracks that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when the image is unique, it's more relevant to you, and that helps with rankings too. Because if you have the same thing as 8,700 other people, well, Google's going to go, yeah, well, whatever, right? There's no reason to show your stuff.
Yeah. Wendy, is this bringing up any more answers or questions for you?
Yes, I'm curious then if what he was just mentioning, if you want to make it unique, how can you make it unique so that it's yours?
Oh, well, those two images that Kevin threw in there, those are 100% unique. They're not images that were found on Google. These are hard generated images, AI generated.
Okay.
So that is
I
one
see.
way.
I see.
That's one way to make you different. But
Mhm.
when you have if you're going through this process, like I showed in that file that I sent across, hopefully you downloaded that file, did you? Wendy?
I did, yes.
Okay, because that file will give you ideas for prompts to write about your business and build the personas. And the hits keep on coming from Kevin over there. Juanita's going nuts. She's going, I got to go try this. But that's what you're trying to do. When you have those prompts in there and it's about your business. And I'm stopping because the only way to understand this is if you use ChatGPT or another Bard at the exact same time, asking the exact same questions, the information's different. So if you're having AI write your stuff, the chances of somebody else having exactly the same content are really, really slim. So you should be able to write content about your business without having to worry how many other people did AI write this for? Probably nobody.
Yeah, because even if you use the same prompts that I did, you may not get the same
That's right.
pictures.
Whatever prompts Kevin is using to get these images doesn't make any difference, because I can just about guarantee you won't get the same images if you use the exact same prompt.
By the way,
Try the hosted facts.
on the subject of prompts too, something to keep in mind that Thomas hasn't mentioned is you don't have to write 1 or 2 sentences. You can write an entire paragraph, very descriptive of exactly what you want, and AI will give you a better result. The more detail you feed it, the better the result you're going to get. If you're too vague, it'll give you just guess at what you want because you haven't given enough detail.
Yes, and I will say that that file that I had you download, that's not the only way to get AI warmed up. Just exactly like what Maury said, you could write a huge paragraph, but you do want to make sure that you understand you're giving commands to the AI. So as you're giving it a command, you've got to be very specific about what you want. If it's generic, or you go, oh, well, it assumed what, no. AI will never assume what you intend. So do not think that AI is going to assume for you. Those are great pictures, Kevin. I don't know how you did those. You better save all of those. So yes, there are several different ways. What I gave you is not, you have to do it this way. It's, here's an example so that you can twist and turn any of these sentences however you wish and see what information that you get. The idea is to have foreplay with AI. You've got to warm it up. You have to get it to understand, what is it that we're going to do?
That's why I switched between Bard and ChatGTP. Bard injects its own humor.
Yeah.
ChatGTP won't inject humor unless you tell it to. So
Ooh.
if you're writing to more like lawyers and doctors or people that aren't necessarily going to appreciate humor, ChatGTP sometimes is a better tool if you're trying to be more business or serious.
I guess that's why I like Bard, because I just, my business, I get so focused in coding and different stuff. I need to get out of my head.
Mm-hmm.
So the levity from Bard is very much welcomed.
Yeah, I find ChatGPT is more formal. So if I'm doing something more formal, I prefer ChatGPT.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm in the medical field and I tend to get really technical and very serious about I'm in my head and thinking about biology and chemistry, and
that's
I got to get away from that. I don't relate to people that way.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And that's exactly why AI is going to write your content for your website much better than you can. Yeah. Because you'll get in there and you'll get into, well, they need to know. Oh, no, don't do that. Don't tell them what they need to know without knowing what they want. And that's hard to do. So pick a page that's about a subject, have AI write it, so it's just about that subject and it's good information. And you read it, you could interject some of your own information. It's not like it's locked so that you can't edit any of that information. You can make it yours, read what AI spit out and say, well, maybe they want this. Just be careful not to add too much technical stuff, because that's what can throw people off.
Yeah.
Maury, go ahead.
Well, just on the medical stuff, instead of you writing from your perspective, you can actually ask the AI to think and act like a prospect that would be interested in your product, and to write from your prospect's perspective. And it'll write an article from what they can decide how a prospect would think. It'll be very different from what you write, but then it'll give you a contrast to look at from how a prospect likely thinks versus what you think they want. I think you'd find
Yes,
that
so-
very handy in the medical side.
I agree. No, I think I agree with that. I'm just trying, I struggle with the words to type to ask.
Oh, gotcha.
I
And
get
don't-
that black and white, and I'm trying to open up and expand,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure again what to type.
Oh,
Take-
just start with telling the AI that you act like you're a prospect that would be interested or has these symptoms that would lead to you having this problem, and and then build on that in the AI to try and define what an ideal prospect would look like for you, and tell it to write an article based on that. Like you must
Okay.
know what symptoms your prospects are likely experiencing, right?
Yes, yes.
So if you tell AI, here's the symptoms that my prospect is likely experiencing, write me an article, based on these symptoms, and then see what it gives you. And then you can build on it from there, right? That'll give you a
Yeah.
start.
Yeah,
Now,
that would be
Wendy, I
great.
know for a fact that the file that I sent to everybody, that a lot of that file will apply to your business. So the prompts that I wrote, it wasn't any specific thing. It was just, well, something along these lines. And then when I got to the personas, it wrote those personas very well. Then you can take the persona and say, okay, now consider this specific persona and tell me more about that person. You can do things like that. So
I see.
I
So I
think,
can understand it better.
yes, just go in and take like an hour and use the prompts that are in the file that I gave you and start writing your own prompts and type different stuff. Use some of the stuff that Maury's talking about. And as you start combining all that stuff in the one page, then you can start saying, okay, now write an article about that specific persona. And that's usually a very good one. And then for the
Great.
buyer's journey pages, you're looking to say, write an article about, write an article for the buyer's journey awareness stage, in quotes. Awareness stage for a term, and then you decide what that term is going to be and put that in quotes too. But that would be after you've done all this stuff of warming up AI to get it to write all these things in the personas. Having it write that article, you decide whether that article is good, bad, or indifferent. You can say, write another article and make change this about it or whatever. So there isn't a specific black and white, this is how you have to write a prompt, or these are the only kind of prompts that work. Pretty much anything works. As you are dealing with it, as you're writing stuff, you're going to go, well, this seems to give me better because I did it this way. Great. That works for you. Do it that way. Any other questions? I know we kind of went over, but Maury, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you'd be shocked how changing one word in your prompt can change the context of the entire prompt. So don't be afraid to sometimes even adjust a single word. Can
Yep.
make a huge difference.
You can write questions, and I want everybody to understand this. I am actually trying to move things over so we're still here, still doing the same thing every week. But if you want to use my site the forum in my site to ask questions, or you can ask the questions in Alignable in our group. Either way, although through my site, I can keep out the people who like to pitch slap a lot easier than Alignable can.
Okay.
So you can get to me either place, but as time goes on, the next few months, I'm over here at my site and not as much in Alignable. But I'll still be doing the meetings every week. You can
Okay.
register and join right there in my homepage too. If you
And then-
miss anything, go to YouTube and check my videos every week. They're recorded and uploaded after the meeting, usually the day after, because I have to go through and cut out stuff, so I make sure that it's not more than an hour.
Good. Good. Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much before we get off
Welcome.
here. This was very, very informative.
You're welcome. I hope to see you back.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
And I hope to see lots of questions in my forum too from everybody.
Okay. And the forum can be accessed at tagarrison.com.
Yes, it's free. You just
Okay.
need to register so I don't have all the yahoos in the world trying to post their garbage.
Okay. Okay. All right. Very good. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome.